Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zaks Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 15th of October. Starting on with the FTSE 100, which is still within that range between 82.20 now, the floor of that rising trend channel from this time last year, and the May resistance line there, 83.55. The market down 0.4%, obviously not rising on the billions that would have come in yesterday from the UK investment summit, but you never know, it's early days yet. If we do break down below that uptrend line there from February, around the 82.10, 82.20 level, then we've got the risk of a move down to the 81.65 area, the September support, but perhaps ahead of the budget, the market's just going to stay still rather than do too much movement. Move on to the DAX, and here position is that we've sneaked into a new high record territory there above 19,500, looking for this market to get up to 20,200 or even 20,300 by the end of next month, obviously hoping that it might happen by the end of this month, and on the downside hoping that we don't get anything lower now than recent resistance, initial October resistance around 19,200, and that became support soon after. The Dow is next, and here rising like a homesick angel ahead of the US election. Clearly, whoever wins, the market seems to be quite chirpy, maybe on interest rate considerations. Top of that channel there, 43,600 now. We were looking for that by the end of the month, and it looks as though we might get that a bit earlier and actually go higher than that. But at the moment, while we're above the old September resistance there, 42,600, looking for the top of that channel there from this time last year to be hit very soon indeed. On to Bitcoin, which has made some positive noises in the recent past, but still hasn't been able to break that March resistance line there at 68,000, above 68,000, looking for obviously record highs towards 74,000. Hoping now we won't see this market head below the 200-day line there at 63,100. Worst case now, hopefully the 50-day line at 60,700, but ideally this is the last time we've got to test the 200-day line. Moving on to gold, and here the picture is that of a decent consolidation. We were hoping after the RSI rebound at neutral 50 yesterday, this market would head back to 2,700. If it does, the next level up is the top of that rising trend channel from June, as high as 28.40, hopefully by the end of next month. In the meantime, like to see this market stay above 26.20, which so far has done, which was the old initial September resistance. Moving on to the stocks, and the cupboard relatively bare, largely because it's a bit earlier in the day for the bulletin board heroes than normal. But here we have Avacta, and we had a bear trap island reversal. Bounc will hit the 50-day moving average there yesterday, and just about fill the gap there, which is what we were looking for after the gap higher from 52. So the stock has behaved perfectly for a change. The 50-day line now rising, so that gives us the hope, over and above that bear trap island reversal formation, which is a very strong one, that an end of day close above 64 pence could lead up to recent highs, and the peak there near 77 pence before Deutsche Bank wielded the axe. On the downside, don't really want to see anything lower now than 56 to 57 pence, which was yesterday and Friday's support area. Moving on to Audioboom, which had great numbers today, great result, and a great recovery for the company. But unfortunately, the story here is not so much of what the company does on a fundamental basis, but just the apparent presence of a permanent seller in the stock. And as you can see already, they've sold at the 200-day line there. Massive resistance there at £2.60, or towards £2.60, and only really a weekly close above £2.60 would really convince the market, or at least me, that we can head up to the top of that rising trend channel as high as £3.30 by the end of next month, which on the basis of today's results, that should happen. On the downside, hoping that we stay above the floor of that rising one-year trend channel at £2.15, which is not a done deal at the moment, given that pesky seller in the mix. Moving on to Cyanconnode, and here, nice V-shaped turnaround there. We're in the run-up to a golden cross, probably a week or two away for that. So from that, and initial target here around 12.5 pence. Best case scenario target up to 16 pence by the end of next month, and ideally we stay on the right side of 10 pence. Moving on to De La Rue, which is a rather unusual inclusion here. Here we've had a massive gap to the upside. Top of the channel there up to £1.25, so that's the maximum that we're looking for at the moment. In terms of the downside, there's a seller there, obviously a bit in the way that we've got at Audioboom, hoping that we stay on the right side of the pound, which was last month's resistance. It is good news that both the 50 and 200-day lines are now rising, so that is effectively like a golden cross. So ideally, we stay on the right side of a pound. Moving on to the Aquis market, where obviously I'm a keen champion and a real fan of that particular market. Here we've got Oscillate, and it's in a beautiful rising trend channel. I hadn't noticed this before. Wonderful step progression there for the share price. So sideways, then up, and doing that again and again. And looking for the shares to hit the top of that rising trend channel as high as 2.8 pence, perhaps as soon as the end of next month. Certainly looking for that to happen by the end of this year, while we're above recent support at 1.25 pence. Moving on to Powerhouse Energy, which has retraced quite heavily from its spring peaks. What we're looking for here is an end-of-day close, a proper end-of-day close through the 50-day line after the gap higher today and the key reversal up yesterday. Looking for that above 1.2 pence to take the shares up to as high as 2 pence by the end of next month. Obviously, it's a punchy call given the persistent failure of the stock since the summer at the 50-day line. Whatever happens, hoping that the shares stay on the right side of a penny. Sareum is next. I covered it yesterday and was quite excited about it. Here we've got the shares trading after a bear trap rebound from below 25 pence, above now the 50-day line at 28 pence. And we're looking for that all-important break, sustained break of the 200-day moving average to take us up to 53 pence by the end of next month. Obviously, if we fail here, then the bets are off in terms of the upside, but at least we're looking for the shares to hold 25 pence. Finishing off with strategic minerals, and here you can see that although it's not exactly the most liquid share around, or stock around, you can see that we've gapped through that resistance line there from February. That might suggest that above 0.25, the shares are ready to head up to 0.35 by the end of next month. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.